All right, so I finally see the Marvels on Disney Plus. So I was like, I missed my opportunity to go to the movie theaters, and I'm sort of glad I didn't go. It it was okay. It was fine. Um, I was I've seen heard some people say it was better than Ant-Man Quantumania, and I'm like, I was like, it's done on par, about the same. Look, I think there was some good things about the Marvels. I was like, the funny thing is, I haven't seen Miss Marvel's show, but I was like, if that's how she is, I'm like, I'm willing to watch it after seeing that because I really enjoy Miss Marvel in the show or whatever. I I was like, her frantic panic and stuff like that. I thought made it funny and enjoyable, where she just like is constantly like screaming or yeah, like doing like the oh my god, like that whole thing because it's just like the timing with it. I was like it's funny because it's like you can see like like it's so like it's a teenager being like it's like oh this is cool what the it's like that type of stuff. So I was like that was fun. I thought it was okay. It was like good with Monica Rambeau, her sort of figuring out her power and what she could do, and sort of seeing like she's still a little bit green at this, but I was like, but I was like they all was ready to go fighting. But I did like seeing her showcase because we only got her in that sliver in WandaVision, so she ain't really had much time, so it was good to see her there. Um, I thought Brie Larson here was like pretty good as well too in her role of like in her role what she was acting. I thought it was really more about the story than how they were trying to do stuff more than her in general. Um, but yeah, no, and I was like, I guess they sort of depowered a little bit of Captain Marvel in that and how this movie sort of went. Um, I thought she was a little. I was like, she was a little bit more at ease than how she was like in the first movie or after Endgame or however you want to say it. She wasn't as rough around the edges as she was like in all those other like appearances and shows. But the dynamic between them was really good. I was like, well, I like the switching. I like the power based stuff and how they were just like it's like, oh, I didn't mean that. How did that happen? I liked all that, especially at the beginning when they were just all just bouncing around from planet, the space station, the house, and stuff like that. I thought that was really creative. I thought that was fun. Other things I like the villain reasoning. Of Hala was basically being destroyed, so she was creating the time jump spots in order to give her planet back to stuff. And I was like, oh, that sounds like something reasonable that if anybody ever invaded another place, because I was like we do that here on Earth literally all the time, get alone if there was aliens, that would be the case where it's like, all right, cool, I'm gonna just take your sun, I'm gonna go over to this planet, take their water, I'm gonna take their atmosphere, things like that. I'm like, okay, cool, that's good enough reasoning. um the I was like, I'll try to think of all the good stuff and then I'm gonna go to the bad stuff, but I was like, uh Nick Fury was cool in this. I was like, he was all right, but and I was like, I heard somebody say that this was supposed to come out before Secret Invasion. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense of why he's a lot more chill with it. Um, Miss Marvel family, I was like, I know people will like them, and I know people like to really like the family dynamic, especially the time that we're in. Um, the mom was just sort of just extra to me, where it was like I was like, come on now. It makes perfectly sense. Like I understand being worried about the child, but it makes sense of what she's doing right now. That it's like calm down. Um, but it shows that she's worried, so whatever. Um, all right. So things I didn't like the pacing of it. It felt long and rushed at the same time in spots. Like I was like it felt really long with the whole dance planet scene. And I do get the purpose of it because it's like that's how they talk in their language, but it seemed like they were there for a long time. Whereas like the beef or the issue with Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau, it was there, and then it was just gone in that quick of an instance. And I get them using Miss Marvel as basically a buffer to get through it, but it didn't really need that. It just went by so fast that it was just like, I'm sorry, and it's like hugs, and that was it. And it was like, okay. And I was like, this was really like girl type of stuff in a way, like, and it's like, and I mean like, and I don't mean like there's women in here. I mean like it felt like really like girl type of stuff that would just kind of like, I just feel like it'd be something like a drama show or something that would just like, oh, hugsies and we're done. And it's like, okay, that's really don't defeat the issue. She didn't really get to expound other than like you wasn't like you didn't come back. And it's like that sound like kid frustration when it could have been like you ain't never come back. And it's like when I needed you, you wasn't there. Like it could have been like kid reason of like, it's like you said you're gonna come back and you didn't, while also turning into a real like adult serious thing where it's like my mom was dying, I didn't see you at all, or how they had the little memory thing on there, and it's just like you came back and you didn't come see me, you didn't try to help through this, that kind of thing. Um, the cat part, to me, it felt like Thor: Love and Thunder with the goats. Not as annoying, but just like didn't have to be there kind of thing. Um, I was like, I don't know, maybe this is the thing about me, but I just don't really just like getting over issues just so quickly. Like, like whether at Brie Larson, how she's like basically like, like when she first said like to like Miss Marvel, like, hey, I apologize, how I spoke to you earlier. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That makes sense. After the whole scroll thing, with which I like that they just let them sort of die. Um, but then when it was like, then after that, it was just quick apology, quick apologies. Oh, I'm sorry. And I was like, and I'm like, yeah, but you could have created a little bit more of like, yeah, but you keep doing it, and that's sort of a problem. That is like you keep on the way that we keep on attacking each other, and that could be a problem. But they didn't really do nothing with it because I felt like it's like, hey, we talk through our thing because we're mature, or it's like where I was like, we're not even talking about things. I was like, that's fine to talk about things because you're really mature, but the way that it's just like, I feel like it's not being addressed because we don't bash each other. Power, but it was a fine movie. The villain. Ugh. First of all, I didn't like her design. I was like, I can't stop and think, but I was like, I thought her lip needed chapstick the whole time. I was like, the placement of like the grill pieces. I was like, it was just weird to me. I was like, in that the hammer thing, I thought they could have used that to connect it to Ronan, and they didn't. Um, I was like, I thought they could have made Captain Marvel out to be more of a villain, and they really also didn't. Like, it was like, oh, you caused it. I was like, well, no, she's like, I caused it more so than anything. And it's like they called her Annihilator, but they didn't really show or do anything with her that made it be like, oh snap, you mess up, you like, yo, you a problem. I almost felt like how people feel like how Tony can be the villain of the Avengers. They could have did that with Captain Marvel. Um, I will say I did like Monica Rambeau sacrifice, and I like that basically that blast was so much that it tore into another space time zone. Um, the end credit scene, I was like, oh, it's Beast. Cool. Mm. Um, I not gonna lie, I did think it was cool that that was like her mom, even though it wasn't a binary. But I thought it was cool. It was cool for what it could set up. But I thought it would have been cooler if somehow it was a separate timeline, but it was also still the past, or something like something they could have did where it was like that is her mom, but it's not her mom. where it's like, Mom, it's like, okay, so about that, and then they show another Monica Rambeau or something like that. I don't know. And I was like, look, I guess a good thing I'm not writing it, but they could have did something else better, or something different. And I was like, I'd have been here for it. But it was just very still okay movie. It wasn't. I didn't think it was going to be like, wow. I didn't think it was gonna be nothing like that. I didn't think it was. I will say this: at least it didn't have me in my expectations or whatever. I was actually more excited to watch it after it was on Disney Plus than me thinking about going to the theaters to watch it. But unlike Ant-Man, I don't think it. I was like, it didn't build me up to drop me from a building at velocity speeds with weights in my hand. That's how I felt about Ant-Man, and that's why I said at the beginning, I was like, they're about the same, but Ant-Man had the whole thing with Kang, and that could have made it hella cool. And there was premises about that movie that could have made it hella cool with the quantum and the whole past thing and the worlds they got down there, and it was kind of just like. And this sort of was too, where it was like a whole bunch of space stuff. They could have did a lot more with Captain Marvel backstory, the whole Monica Rambeau versus Captain Marvel. Uh, I think they could have did a better job of doing. It's almost like an Ant Man where his daughter and him had different. Even though they're both good guys, I was like she was basically having the whole conflict of like you're not doing enough, whatever, like this generation thing is that's happening now in real life, that you could have that with Miss Marvel basically sort of looking at Captain Marvel in a way where she could have started being like I don't know why I look up to you kind of thing. And I thought that would have been a good dynamic for Captain Marvel to also go through while also being like, not only did I let this girl down to Miss Marvel, but I'm also letting down Monica Rambeau too. So I'm like, you could have had a real conflict that could have got worked out while also still trying to be like, we need to work together in order to get this done. So I was like, there was things they could have did that was better. But anyway, that's my review of the Marvels, Miss Marvel, whatever the Marvels. Um, yeah, it was fine. Could have been better, but I wasn't. I didn't. I like at least it was only like an hour and 50 compared to Marvel movies that could have been 2.5 hours long. Like Thor: Love and Thunder, that was way too long. But anyway, well, I guess until the next movie review, because Marvel's gonna be a while. So until then, I'm out.